Pleasant good evening to everybody out there during this time, man. It is your boy Louis Sports Network. Once again, I am back once again with another heavy hitter banger with yet another video. Before we get started with this video, first of all, I appreciate everybody that's been subscribing to the channel. I truly appreciate that. Secondly, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you share the video, make sure you comment down below, and most importantly, man, make sure your notifications are turned on so you're always receiving the latest content from the Louis Sports Network. I truly appreciate it. So in this video, I wanted to pay tribute to one of the most underrated players in NBA history, and he's definitely one of the greatest centers to ever play this game, but doesn't get enough appreciation for what he meant for us basketball fans growing up. If you're a fan of this man and the San Antonians, you guys will appreciate this guy that I'm about to introduce to you. Without further ado, the great Navy SEAL, the Admiral, David Robinson. Why do I want to make a tribute video about David Robinson? Because David Robinson is one of the greatest, most underappreciated players in NBA history. This is what David Robinson did, man. I mean, he goes by the name of David Maurice Robinson. He was born on August 9th of 1965. He is from Key West, Florida. Served in the Navy before he entered the NBA draft. He was in the Navy for 2 years. I think it was from 87 to 89. So he was drafted in 87, but wasn't eligible to play until the 89-90 season. And he entered the league at 24 years old. So looking at his accomplishments, he played all 13 of his seasons with the San Antonio Spurs. His jersey is retired by San Antonio. He went into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in 2009. Let's look at just some of his accomplishments. The man was a 10-time All-Star. He led the league in rebounds in just his second season. In 1991, he led the league in blocks the very next year in just his third season in the 91-92 season. He was Defensive Player of the Year in 1992. He also was the Rookie of the Year in his first year in 89-90. He led the league in scoring and won the scoring title in the 93-94 season, just edging out Shaq for the scoring title when he scored 71 points, which at the time was the sixth highest scoring game in NBA history in 94. And I believe he accomplished that feat in April of the 94 season against the Clippers. The very next year, he won the 1995 NBA Most Valuable Player, MVP for short, if we're abbreviating. He made 8 all-defensive teams, and I'm pretty sure that most of those are first team, because you could tell, I mean, a Defensive Player of the Year, for the most part, you should be a first-team All-NBA defender, unless if you're Marc Gasol and Tyson Chandler, which I don't understand why. But most Defensive Player of the Years nominees and players who have won the award have pretty much been first-team All-NBA defenders, with the exception of those two for some reason. But he's a 2-time NBA champion, and he made 10 All-Star teams in his Hall of Fame NBA career. David Robinson is one of the greatest of all time, and you know, in the playoffs, if you even look at his playoff career, his first six postseasons, he averaged over 20 and 10. His very first 6 seasons, he averaged over 20 and 10 in the playoffs. Now, my question to you will probably be, why doesn't he get enough recognition as one of the greatest of all time? So, let's see. He made the playoffs in every year, but I believe the 97 season. So that was the only time that he didn't make it because he was injured with the back. David Robinson pretty much missed most of that season, and the Spurs won a league worst 21 games that season. So they had the worst record in the league in the 96-97 season. But yeah, like I was saying before, if you look at the 89-90 season, averaged 24 points and 12 rebounds in the playoffs, 25 and 13 the next year, 23 and 12 his third year, 20 and 10 his fourth year, 25 and 12 his fifth year, 23 and 10 in his sixth year, And that was the last time that he averaged 20 before in the 99-2000 season, he would average 23 and 13. And that was the year that Tim Duncan tore his ACL and Greg Popovich decided not to put him in for the playoffs and decided to sit him out for the rest of the season that year. But he did average double-digit rebounds in 8 of his first 9 playoff seasons. If you take away the 97 season, which obviously the Spurs didn't make the playoffs. But unbelievable career. And I think he doesn't get a lot of recognition because of the fact that when you look at centers like Shaq and Hakeem, you're talking about Patrick Ewing, Dikembe Mutombo. He played in the cream of the crop in the golden age era of centers and big men. But he was definitely dominant. And in my opinion, the man had the greatest triceps in NBA history. Man, his ability to run the floor, impeccable timing, great intangibles. This is really one of the most underrated, unappreciated all-time greats in NBA history. David Robinson was a dominant center in his prime. Elite defensive player. Athletic, one of the most impressive athletic 7-footers ever. His ability to run the floor, like, just second to none, man. And you're talking about an athletic freak in David Robinson. And I thought that the Admiral is a, very fitting name for him. I appreciate him. He was one of the reasons to give the Lakers hell. And the crazy part is that with his injury, you don't wish injuries on anybody, but I felt like his injury was a blessing in disguise because it allowed the Spurs to get the #1 pick because David Robinson was the #1 pick in the '87 draft, but this allowed them to get their second number one overall pick 10 years later in the big fundamentals in Tim Duncan. David Robinson knew that Tim was the better player, and he took a step back and let Tim be pretty much the man on the team, and David Robinson once again did the little things to help win. And whenever they needed scoring, David Robinson would provide it for the San Antonio Spurs. And it allowed him to win 2 NBA championships. But I think he doesn't get that appreciation also is because if you look at David Robinson's career, he was so dominant. But when it came to playoff success, he kind of got criticized for not being able to take the Spurs to the NBA Finals and winning as the main guy on the team. But that's how he was criticized. And that to me, that sucks because, those teams really weren't, they were good regular season wise, but I never felt like they were very good in the playoffs. It could have been better. And in particular, they got Dennis Rodman too. So I thought that the Spurs would, would definitely have an opportunity. But again, Tim Duncan was exactly what David Robinson needed. So, I appreciate seeing both Tim Duncan and David Robinson play. And I'm glad that David Robinson was able to get his first championship and he was able to go out as an NBA champion, So much respect to the Admiral, David Robinson. So sorry, I'm butchering that, but, San Antonians, this is for you guys. David Robinson fans, this is for you guys. I truly, appreciate David Robinson, man. That dude was a beast on the court. Also one of the best mid-range shooters too. He had a great mid-range game for a 7-footer as well with a very soft touch. So let me not forget that. But I just wanted to give the love and respect that David Robinson deserves, man. Is one of the all-time greats. Like I said, in the era that he played in when it comes to big men, he gets overshadowed. Oh, let me not forget, he was a 2-time Olympian as well. Any other accolades, you guys can pretty much put it in the comment section. But once again, this is your boy Louis with another one. I just wanted to show appreciation to the Admiral David Robinson, to all the San Antonio fans and to all David Robinson fans, man. I truly appreciate y'all. So this is your boy Louis with another one. As always, live, laugh, love. Thank y'all for watching.